Getting to smell a lot like Christmas.
I don't even think that matters very much. Let's see. All right. Bang, bang, bang. That was wrong. Let's see here, here, there, here. Copy. Um, what up, Sharon? I was still setting up. Bang, bang. What up, brother? Hey, hey, there we go. There we go. Okay. How you doing, my friend? How are you doing? Exactly. So, the other day, the other day, ND said he was throwing the Pokeball at Chi, trapping her in a Pokeball. So now we got Chi in a Pokeball. Do you recall the movie Loser? Yes, I do recall. I do recall. I do recall. Let me see if this is set up. It's still set up. Oh, that's the wrong one. Loser movie. Man, there you go. That's freaking wackadoo. There we go. There we. Oh, wrong thing. I should get rid of that other one. I don't know why I do that all the time. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me at 2000? What a way back in the day. How you doing, Space Cow? Space to the cow. Space to the cow. Hit the freaking like button. Please, you guys. You never hit the like button when you come in. And you're my moderators. I wanted to not. You can't see your boobs. You can't see your. Oh, you can see your boobs. Never mind. My bad. 13 subs to go till 100. 87. You're on your way, brother. You're on your way. You're on your way. He's got 13 subs to go. He's going fast, not slow. All right, let me see here. Um, oh, you're talking about Space Cowboy. You know, he's got 13 subs with no freaking content. You got 97. You're almost at 100. You know, when I first started doing YouTube, I was like, man, I'm probably gonna make like 100 videos, maybe over, one a month for the next 10 years. Now I'm like, I got freaking 800 and some odd videos. You got 730. I am. Yeah. Okay. I'm talking about. I don't have to do it. That's I know it. That's it. You just got your freaking your good looks and your train set. All right. Let's see. I should be able to set this up too. There he is. There he is. NASCAR. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's check out some jams. Jamios. Have a pole, need a hole? That's so crazy. RAM prices. Oh no, I don't want to watch that. That'll give me some trouble. Now I haven't gotta go. Well, hey dude, don't worry about it, Shiraz, brother. I'll be here for another hour or two. You can swing in. What's up, Angel? Wow, I ain't seen you in a long time. Where you been? Where have you been, Angel? Angel, Angel, they got angel eyes. Bam. All right, let's see. All right, now what we're gonna watch. Now let's go back here. We'll go to. Oh, I forgot the name. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Okay, let me think. There we go. There we go. 24.8 million subs. Dang. Captured alive. Let's see what this does.
The arms would be
Almost got it right. There we go. Okay. What up, Erwin? Specific terms in your bio that almost guarantee automatic subscribers. Tarot, guns, space, gaming, and several others. Thank you, Erwin.
thrust at a rich man, and they would open up just enough to slide around his waist before snapping shut. The long metal spikes would trap him inside, allowing criminals to pull him to the ground. But this wouldn't kill him. Instead, he would be captured alive and kept as a hostage. Next, they would demand a ransom from his family, only releasing him once the money was paid. The arms would be thrust at a rich man.
Rude. But what?
The kids were happily doodling when the man dangled a shiny star in front of them, explaining that they would get one for each picture they drew. As the days passed, they stopped coming up with new ideas, only trying to get out as much art as possible so they could get more stars. And when the stars finally ran out, some of the kids gave up on drawing altogether, even though they had loved it beforehand. You see, when they started wanting the reward, it replaced the excitement from drawing. And after the stars disappeared, their love for art did too. So when
That's what happens.
you attach rewards to your passions, you can sometimes forget why you cared about it in the first place. Until
That's what
you
happens to people that start making videos. Oh, I do recall my latest invention. And you'll find out what it is in a couple of days here. Well, about a month.
just completely stop enjoying it
2 weeks.
altogether. The kids were happily
So people that make videos because it's fun to make videos, and then they start getting likes, and then they only want the likes, so they start making trash videos and uploading like AI slop, and they get likes, and then they try to make one. They're like, "Hey guys, thanks for our likes." And they get, "Why don't you like it anymore?" Why don't you make videos because you love it? That's the problem. That's the problem. Can a bullet?
If you shot a massive railgun towards the Earth from the moon, the projectile would move fast enough to escape the moon's gravity, and it would keep speeding through space until it reached Earth's atmosphere. But at that speed, the metal would start to melt, and the bullet would be torn apart before it hit the ground. Now, if it had a tungsten core and a heat shield that burns away on re-entry, and some ceramic tiles to keep it from melting, it could actually make it all the way from the moon until it hit Earth, which would likely make a small crater.
Yeah.
If you shot a massive
That wouldn't be very nice. Reluctantly crouched at the starting line, engines pumping and thumping in time. The green light flashes. The crowd goes up. They're burning and running for a lick up. They swiftly maneuver and muscle for rank. Fuel burning fast in an empty tank. Yeah. Did Alice Cooper kill a chicken on stage? The ramen challenge that went wrong.
He ate 3 packets of uncooked ramen as part of an internet challenge. But inside his stomach, the dry pasta started to absorb his liquids. They swelled up quickly, forming a hard mass and blocking his intestines. The boy suddenly felt ill, with severe stomach pains, and soon he started vomiting. But the mass was too big to come out, and soon he collapsed and died, all from an internet challenge. He ate
Bad idea. Bad idea. What to do if a cow eats your money? The Swedish coffee experiment. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The teeth grab the stalk, pulling inside as it spins. Then metal plates clamp the stalks tight, while snapping rolls twist below, ripping the ears of corn completely off. They ride up a chain conveyor, where an auger feeds them into the machine. Inside, spinning drums strip away the husks, and the bare cobs and stalks are thrown out the back, while the kernels are carried upward into the grain tank. And once it's full, an auger swings out, pouring a river of corn into the waiting trailer. The teeth grab the stalk, pulling inside as it spins. Then metal plates.
Do you recall when they wanted to colonize Mars? Colonize? I know that they wanted to land there by the end of Trump's second term. I don't know if they're going to colonize that some of them. Like millions of dollars, large tattoo ink. How clams warn us about dirty water.
The clams are dropped into a water tank with their shells wide open. But the moment contaminated water flows in, they slam shut all at once. You see, in the wild, clams pull water through their bodies to eat tiny bits of food floating inside. But if the water is too dirty, they instantly close to protect themselves.
Oh.
So scientists attach a small piece of metal to
No
each
way.
clam's shell. And when the clam shuts, the metal taps a sensor, and that
crazy.
triggers a warning. This method is used to monitor the water supply for contamination.
No
As long as
way.
their shells stay open, the water is safe to drink. The clams
No
are
way. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it would work. She crashed her own funeral.
A man pointed a gun at her. She was shoved into a car, driven away, and tied tightly to a chair. Then she overheard a phone call where her husband told the men to kill her. But they decided not to, and secretly freed her instead while still collecting their money. Returning home days later, she watched as her family left her
that's
house
over.
mourning her death.
all right,
Then
Space
she
Cow, better
surprised
not
her
be
husband,
frickin'-
who thought she was
It better not be what I think it is.
dead. Immediately, he begged for forgiveness, but police recorded his confession and now he's serving years in prison. A man
They should have known better. All right, what
If you
not to do
cut
if
off
cut
your finger,
off.
some people think they should put it in their mouth to keep it wet. But your mouth is filled with bacteria that cause infection. Others think they should put it directly onto ice to preserve
Nope.
it. But
Wrap
the
it
freezing
across.
temperatures destroy delicate tissues, making reattachment impossible. And if you try taping it back on yourself, there's no blood flow, so the finger would quickly die. The best thing is to wrap it gently, keep it cool, and rush to a hospital. If you cut off your finger, some people think they should put it in their mouth.
That looks like a young Elon Musk. Look at this guy, doesn't he? He looks like Elon Musk. He's got the same hair too. Look at this. He's definitely trying to make him look like Elon Musk. Definitely. That's crazy. What not to do if you cut your finger off. Yeah, I can get stuck with these things. That's for sure. How birds learn to swear. He walked off a 120-foot cliff.
While hiking, the boy began pointing at the air, saying he saw snowmen and Kermit the Frog. His dad tried to get him to focus, but he turned and walked toward the edge of a cliff, falling 120 feet into the rocks below. You see, his brain wasn't getting enough oxygen in the thin air, and this caused him to hallucinate. His dad stayed with him for 6 hours as rescue teams worked to reach them. The fall broke several bones and gave him a serious head injury, but somehow he survived. While hiking,
120 feet. It must not have been a cliff. That must have been like a hill. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let's find something interesting to watch. Let's see what YouTube's got for us. The Pepsi contest that killed 5 people. Oh, wow. Make lighting in a bottle. Oh, there you go.
On the 15th of January 1975, a respected kabuki actor joined several friends for dinner at a restaurant in Kyoto. There, he would order a very unusual dish, a dish that his companions would refuse to touch,
Yeah, good idea.
but which he would indulge in not 1, but 4 portions of. This meal, reportedly delicious, would unfortunately end up being the very last meal of his life. Bando Mitsuguro VIII enjoyed a long and successful career as a kabuki actor. Kabuki is a classical Japanese art form, with its main features being dramatic performances, striking costumes, elaborate makeup, and traditional dance. Kabuki theatre has a long history, and has evolved significantly over its lifetime, but is an art that many Japanese people still enjoy and engage with today. Bando began performing in the 1930s, and by the 1970s had risen to prominence. He was immensely respected for his work, and had earned the title of Living National Treasure, a status determined by the government for people whose work preserved important but intangible cultural assets. When not performing, Bando was a fan of fine dining. He enjoyed visiting restaurants with his friends and had written several essays about food-related topics. On the 15th of January 1975, Bando and his 4 friends visited a restaurant in Kyoto.
2 years
After
ago.
perusing the menu,
2 years
Bando asked for something that wasn't listed there. 4 portions
www.instagram.com
of pufferfish liver.
PCC1JQD.
This was an unusual order.
Drinking. Names for your grandparents' goldfish. Stupid asshole. Any position. Ask me. Phil Merhart. Nope, I'm not saying my mom's right there. Nope, never saying that. Tear a dick off. What? Phil my hairy penis stuff. Oh, ass. Just quit. Seriously, I got parents here. Willie Fonger, Wilma Fingerdo, Harry Ballsack. Oh. Take it.
Stupid asshole. Oh, that's cute. Stupid asshole.
As local laws prohibited the sale of pufferfish liver,
Stupid
as it was
asshole.
known to
That was
contain
fast.
a deadly poison. Pufferfish,
I am
or
back from
fugu,
having dinner.
And this is this guy's last dinner.
was nonetheless
Instagram.
considered a delicacy across Japan.
Hey, excuse me, mate. You only on the fucking yellow line, don't you?
What yellow line?
Hey, excuse me, mate. You only on the fucking yellow line, don't you?
What yellow line?
Hey, excuse me, mate. You only on the fucking yellow line, don't you?
What yellow line?
Oh boy.
Japan. The liver, ovaries,
Yeah, this is this guy's last dish.
eyes, and skin of the fish
Ever.
contained a deadly toxin known as tetrodotoxin, for
Tetrodotoxin.
which there was no known cure. But if all of these parts were carefully and completely removed, what remained could be safely consumed, and was said to be delicious.
Delicious.
The liver, despite being poisonous, was considered one of the most flavoursome parts of the fish, and so was still sometimes eaten. Treating the livers, for example, through traditional pickling processes, would reduce the amount of toxin in them to a survivable level, and diners would generally only taste fugu livers in tiny amounts. Some reported that the paralytic effect of the toxin was part of the pleasing flavour, noting a sensation of numbness in their lips as they ate. On this occasion, though, Bando's friends would not risk partaking in the 4 portions of pufferfish liver that he, eventually, persuaded the staff to serve them. Unfazed, Bando ate all 4, one after the other, assuring waiters and his friends that he would be unaffected. He was, he said, immune to the toxin that made fugu so deadly. In the hours following the meal, however, Bando Mitsuguro VIII began to experience feelings of numbness throughout his body. This quickly worsened to muscle paralysis and breathing difficulties. He passed away in his hotel room in the early hours of the 16th of January, 1975.
No, 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 no. No. No, 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 no.
Seasons or something. That's funny. That's funny.
Years later, in 1984, a nationwide ban was placed on the serving of fugu liver anywhere in Japan. Now, in order to be permitted even to serve the edible parts of the fish, chefs have to undertake at least 3 years of rigorous training.
That's crazy.
Despite this, there are occasional accidents in which diners are poisoned by incorrectly prepared fugu. Outside of restaurants, fugu poisoning is much more common, with anglers who catch the fish sometimes misidentifying it and often failing to correctly prepare it. If only a small amount of toxin is ingested, it may be possible to survive fugu poisoning. But in larger amounts, no cure for the fish's poison has yet been discovered. In 1962, a particular type of cheese was made illegal in Italy.
So disgusting. I shouldn't even watch this.
Laws covering the sale of infested food were extended to include
Yeah, this is maggot cheese.
this product, which nonetheless was, and continues to be, considered a delicacy in its native country and around the world. Keizumazu is traditionally made by leaving a wheel of sheep's milk cheese outside and deliberately exposing it to cheese flies. These tiny creatures lay their eggs in the cheese, and the eggs hatch into tiny maggots which sustain themselves by consuming and excreting the cheese. The process of being digested by the maggots gives the cheese a distinct fermented flavor and alters its texture to be light and frothy. Per tradition, keizumazu is eaten as it is, complete with the still-living maggots. Notably, these maggots are capable of jumping short distances, and so it is normal for diners to hold their hand over their plate while they eat to deflect any larvae that might otherwise jump out. Any who wish to try the cheese but are squeamish about consuming live maggots may first asphyxiate them by placing their portion of cheese in a paper bag. As the maggots slowly starve of oxygen, they jump wildly in an attempt to escape, sometimes hitting the paper bag and making a slight popping sound. Once this sound ceases, the larvae are no longer alive, and the cheese is eaten. The flavor is generally described as soft and creamy, but with a tangy aftertaste and a strong smell. Gourmets enjoy the cheese spread on a piece of flatbread and accompanied by a strong wine. Keizumazu has attained a degree of fame both among those who consider it appalling and among those who consider it a delicacy. Unfortunately for the latter group, it is not legal to sell or serve the cheese to the general public. This law is rarely enforced, allowing producers to distribute keizumazu via personal networks and black markets, but it does generally prevent the export of the cheese to other countries. As such, keizumazu remains a delicacy, or a horror, that can usually only be experienced in its native Sardinia. The reason for the ban is the potential danger inherent in consuming a food that contains live maggots. It is possible, although not common, for larvae to survive inside the human body. Here they may cause infections or, on rare occasions, burrow into tissues and develop towards adulthood by feeding on them. There have been no confirmed cases of this happening with keizumazu, but the possibility remains. The Ortolan bunting is a small songbird that's typically found across Europe and Asia. While they have many interesting qualities, such as their distinctive green, grey and yellow markings, they are best known for their culinary use. The traditional method of serving ortolans is considered so cruel that the capture and cultivation of the birds is illegal in many countries. Before being served, ortolan are kept in complete darkness for several weeks. This disrupts the bird's perception of day and night and causes it to eat constantly, gorging itself on a large supply of grain with which it is provided. Once they have nearly doubled in size, they are suspended upside down and drowned in the French brandy Armagnac. The drowned birds are left to marinate in the brandy before being plucked, seasoned, and cooked in their own rendered fat. After 7 minutes exactly, the bird is served. Tradition dictates that it be eaten whole, with the diner holding it by the head. The dish is served with a napkin, which the diner will drape over their head as they bite into the bird. This head covering helps to contain and concentrate the delicate aromas of the bird.
Crazy.
But some say that it also serves a second purpose, to hide the diner's face as they shamefully indulge in a delicacy that required great cruelty in its preparation. Usually, an individual ortolan will be eaten in a single bite, leaving only the beak. The bird's bones are delicate enough to be consumed, although some diners prefer to spit them out afterwards, using the
you ate dinner first,
napkin that they previously covered their head with to clean up any spillage. Ortolan is now no longer featured on restaurant menus, although the dish remains available for diners who have the right connections or are willing to pay a premium to be served. The birds are sourced through a thriving black market, where a single bird can command a cost of over €200. As cruel and strange as ortolan might be, its almost legendary status as a forbidden food only serves to make it more desirable to certain diners. The same is true for fugu and for keisumazu. The dangerous, disgusting, or cruel aspects of these foods also make them rare, exotic, and therefore desirable. Whether banned or considered shameful to eat, these horrifying foods will likely still be served for many years to come.
What? The Bradford Sweets. We accidentally added cyanide.
On the 30th of October, 1858, a batch of sweets which had accidentally been adulterated with arsenic were put on sale at a market stall in Bradford, England. More than 200 people consumed them, with the vast majority becoming severely ill as a result. 21 people, including many children, died as a result of what turned out to be one of the first mass poisonings in British history. William Hardacre was a renowned sweetmaker based in the Green Market in central Bradford. So popular was he that he was known as Humbug Billy, after the black and white humbug candies that were one of his most popular products. Hardacre obtained these candies on a regular basis from Joseph Neal, who owned a small workshop not far from the market. Neal made a range of products and often adulterated them with non-standard ingredients in order to save money. Expensive sugar, for example, would often be switched out with inexpensive powdered gypsum. This was a common practice at the time. Everyone did it, but everyone knew that it was wrong too. So much so that the adulterators would often use obscure nicknames like Daff and Flash for their ingredients in order to escape
Do you recall
detection.
having a gambling addiction?
I never have, luckily. Like I've only gambled, like I've only actually gambled money. Maybe I played like $10 over the course of like an hour on a slot machine at an airport in New Jersey, and then I played a couple of things of
I guess that's why they call it the blues.
and I guess that's why they call it the blues. It's time on my hands, could be time spent with you, loving like children, living like lovers, rolling like thunder under the covers, and I guess the boobs. Yeah, but no, yeah, I've played a couple of Keno a couple of times, maybe like $2 each, like maybe 10 times throughout my life. But yeah, no, never had a gambling addiction problem.
On the 30th of October,
What about you, Mr. Race Car frickin' fanatic?
1858, Joseph
Is that how you get all that train money?
Neal sent a lodger to pick up some ingredients from a druggist on his behalf. The druggist in question was ill that day, and a young assistant was filling in for him. So it was that neither person undertaking the transaction was an expert, and so it was that a terrible mistake was made. The druggist's assistant packaged up what he thought was 12 pounds of powdered gypsum, but he had got the wrong barrel. What he actually sold to Joseph Neal's lodger was an equal amount of arsenic trioxide.
Jesus.
The lodger returned to Joseph Neal's workshop and handed the poisonous substance off to one of the sweetmakers employed there. This man, named James Appleton, proceeded to whip up a batch of humbugs, becoming terribly sick in the process.
Oh, wow.
He was ill for several days thereafter, vomiting and experiencing pain in his hands and arms,
Wow.
but he did not realize his condition was down to poisoning. Neither did anyone else. The poisoned sweetmaker, James Appleton, noted that the finished humbugs looked different from usual, but was too sick to investigate further. Joseph Neal, the workshop owner, noticed that they looked off too, but was still keen to sell them and make a profit. William Hardacre, Humbug Billy, used the odd appearance of the humbugs to press for a discount, and happily sampled a few of the candies before putting them up for sale from his market stall that evening. Of course, William Hardacre soon took ill, but not
Do you
ill
recall
enough
John
to
Delaney?
stop him from selling his deadly produce.
John Delaney. No. John Delaney? John Delaney. John Delaney. Radio personality. Yeah. Dr. John. Yeah. Yeah. Not a big fan. I mean, not a hater. Maybe when I seen his like YouTube shorts or TikToks or whatever, but I don't think I've ever watched a full program. A fan of yours? Are you a fan of his?
The first few deaths
He can help
of
you with
children.
your gambling addiction.
On first look, it was as though they had been killed
I'll
by
give him a
cholera,
call.
a common illness at the time. Those poisoned suffered from vomiting, abdominal pain, and bloody diarrhea.
Oh,
It was a messy, painful, and protracted way to die. Soon enough, though, dozens of people had died or been taken ill, and police were able to identify the cause as the poisoned humbugs. The sweets were confiscated and tested and found to contain, all in all, enough arsenic to kill 2,000 people.
oops.
Thankfully, the final death toll came to just 21, with around 200 people suffering severe ill effects as a result of
Jeez.
consuming the sweets. The druggist and his assistant, as well as workshop owner Joseph Neal, were hauled before a magistrate, but were ultimately either acquitted or discharged once the circumstances of the poisoning were fully known. Rather than punishing the individuals responsible, legislation was drafted to ensure that no such disaster could ever happen again.
How?
This included a crackdown on the adulteration of foodstuffs and a requirement for better record keeping by all druggists. So it was that one of the worst cases of mass poisoning in UK history ultimately resulted
Oh, I guess that's where Bah Humbug comes from. Maybe.
in better regulation, more accountability, and better quality food for everyone.
That's pretty dang cool. Pilots, oh jeez. Divers left to die at sea. Damn, I ain't watching that one. Love Parade. 1 million people trapped in a tunnel. Oh, it crushed. Jesus. Lost forever after one wrong turn.
Do you recall 16 Candles?
16 Candles. I do. Good movie. Way back in the day. I need some short versions. Let me see shorts. The Jägermeister Pool of Death. Hold on, what?
This is an orca. This is the so-called Pool of Death, an unintentionally deadly feature at a party organized in Mexico by the drinks brand Jägermeister. Intending to create spectacular clouds of vapor, the hosts dumped 4 large buckets of dry ice into a...
I got no idea. I'm guessing it's Friday night. People are feeling all right. I don't know. I was about to go to bed myself, actually. Maybe everybody's tired and tired. I'm tired. We did really good on the previous stream. There was a lot of people.
A pool in which guests were swimming, unaware that these admittedly very cool-looking clouds of carbon dioxide gas actually displace oxygen.
Oh,
Partygoers on the poolside cheered with delight. Partygoers in the pool suddenly found themselves unable to breathe. Panic soon set in, and 9 semi-conscious swimmers were eventually pulled from the water. Most recovered, although one man was left in a month-long coma.
Jeez.
The accident made headlines around the world. Not the kind of PR Jägermeister had been looking for.
I'm sure.
The German company responded with a statement saying that they were investigating what had gone wrong and, somewhat oddly, reminding everyone to drink responsibly.
You gotta be kidding me. They're like, sorry, we used carbon dioxide to kill everybody. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and call it. I'm ready for bed anyway. I appreciate you hanging out with Miss Base Cow. Asti Spamanti. See you in the morning. Or, yeah, probably the morning. Bye, 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 bye. Look it.